at Tronix understand that it's your second highest variable cost. The management of your fuel as an asset versus your fuel as commodity is becoming a higher and higher priority for all transporters worldwide. Now, traditionally, fuel is always seen as a commodity. At 50 cent a litre, sure, it can be a commodity. But at the prices today and the prices it's going to escalate to, the management thereof as an asset is becoming a larger and larger responsibility for transport operators. Now, traditionally, we understand that you were never able to manage this purely because of technology. You can see it in the field today. Most trucks don't even have a working fuel gauge. Drivers are monitoring fuel using a stick. At Tronix, we've taken a very long and hard look at the solutions that are available in the market, and we've harnessed the latest technology with the best software solution to provide you an effective method to monitor and manage your fuel as an asset. Let's have a look at the reports that are available in the Tronix system for you. First of all, in order to draw these reports, we will go to Reports, select Fuel Reports. First one we're going to look at is fuel consumption. You select the report, then select the group of vehicles that you're looking for. In this case, we're going to take Tronix Asia, and then the vehicle or vehicles that you want to hone in on. In this case, we're going to look at all the vehicles and then the period that you're looking at. For illustrative purposes, we're going to go 1st of October 2012 through to 31st of October 2012. And then we query that particular report. One of the things that comes up immediately for us is the correlation that we have between litres consumed and number of driver violations. And that is what we focus on from this report's perspective. If you look at the top of the report, the first part is a vehicle summary, giving you the total distance travelled for that period, the total number of litres consumed, the fuel consumption in kilometres per litre, and the driver violations. So you can immediately see where you have problems with fuel consumption, how are those related to the number of violations for that particular vehicle. Now, in keeping with our macro to micro vision, we see that as your macro level. We then go down to what has happened per day. So if we were to take, for example, the first vehicle, and we see on the 1st of October, we see it has travelled so many kilometres, it's consumed so many litres, there's the kilometres per litre, and it had 26 driver violations. From there, we go to a further level down. If we were to select that particular day, and we were to go to the trip detail report, we will now see what time he started, what time he ended, where he ended the trip, where he started the next trip, how many kilometres were travelled, and again, how many litres were consumed, giving us effective control of fuel consumption right down to the minute detail. The next report we're going to have a look at is the fuel fill report. Again, we go down to reports, fuel reports, and the third report down is our fuel fill report. Select the report. In this report, we're going to enter a price for a litre of diesel, and we're going to use the Malaysian standard of 1.80. Select our query, and we're then immediately given a fuel fill report. Starting at the top of the report, you'll see that we have a summary, which basically gives you the number of litres and the number of fills per vehicle. If we hone over, you'll see TAGF 55, it filled 5,710.70 litres, and it had 38 number of fills. If we look now down at the vehicle summary, this is giving you a summary per individual vehicle for the whole period. We see the first vehicle, TA EI 31, 439 litres, value of 790 ringgit, and it had 12 fills. So we can say the average fill was around 80 ringgit per fill. From there, we're going to hone down and look at where those fills took place. So select the vehicle that you want to look at, okay? And we're going to go down to the daily vehicle detail. We see on the 1st of October, he had one fill, 57 litres, and it was 102 ringgit worth of value. Very easy for your accountants or your debtors clerks to easily take this and convert it to the diesel statements that you're receiving, either from the fuel centre or from your bank in the case of diesel cards. From there, if we now identify that we have a problem and we want to look at the detail involved, we're able to go and look at each fuel fill incident, and we see at the bottom of the report here we have the time that he started filling, as well as the location that he started filling. We also have the amount that was in the tank at the start of the fill and the amount of the tank at the end of the fill, thus giving you no room for the driver to argue with how many litres actually went into the vehicle. We have the litres, we have the price, and of course then the value per fill. giving you an effective methodology in order to control your fuel flows. The next report we're going to have a look at is a fuel porphyry report. We would go down and select fuel reports and fuel porphyry report. Once we get the fuel porphyry report, similarly to the others, we will choose our group, we'll choose all vehicles, and we'll choose the period being the 1st to the 31st of October. Once we select query, we are presented with a summary at the top, giving us the number of fuel porphyry incidents. In this case, we'll see that we had 782 litres stolen from vehicle TA GF51 for the period of 1st to 31st of October, and that was done in 38 separate incidents. If we take that vehicle and we have a look how many litres were taken, we see, well, let's take the first vehicle, TAE EI31. We see that that vehicle had 276 litres stolen for the month, a value of 500 ringgit. Number of violations, there were 10 separate incidents of fuel porphyry. Where did those take place? Well, let's go again and have a look at the detail. First of all, we look at the daily detail. You see that he had 2 incidents on the 7th of October. Once we select the 7th of October, we can then go right down to the violation detail, giving us the time that it was taken, what the start tank was, what the end tank was, the number of litres, the value, and the exact location of those fuel porphyries, helping you and assisting you to find out which drivers are taking the fuel, where they're taking the fuel, and effectively put an end to fuel porphyry, utilizing the Tronix technology. Now this management of fuel can bring around massive savings in your operation. We're talking about the difference in fuel consumption again of 50%. That 50% can be the difference between profit and loss, thus making Tronix your partner in profitability.